But not everyone is convinced a new youth shelter will do more help than harm. It's a plan that would bring two homeless shelters nearly back to back. Good evening. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. First tonight at 10, Youth Services of Southern Wisconsin plans to tear down the McDonald's building in the 3000 block of East Washington to make way for new shelter space for troubled teens. That is right in front of the Darbo Drive Salvation Army. New tonight at 10, the night team's Dannika Lewis explains why some neighbors are worried.
Well, Sarah, I have to say most people who we talked to today living around the proposed project were all for helping the homeless. But even if you're for the cause, it could feel like squeezing too many shelters too close to home. Where they're now taking orders, Youth Services of Southern Wisconsin hopes to take in teens.
I think by having a shelter will provide access to shelter services for a whole population of runaway and homeless youth who won't access that shelter service right now.
Executive Director Casey Barrand plans to move his organization from this office on Atwood to an 18,000 square foot building here on East Washington. In place of this McDonald's will be 8 beds, offices, and meeting space if all goes to plan, right in front of the Salvation Army, where you could also see a shelter expand.
It's something we're concerned about.
It's an unsettling suggestion for neighbor Tom Harkarick.
We were kind of worried about property value and also just crime rate and supervision. It kind of seems like it's going to be a concentration of two different elements, in a neighborhood that's already had some problems.
Harkarick doesn't see why the two shelters have to be in such close proximity, and he's particularly concerned about putting troubled kids in his neck of the woods.
It's just, a bunch of kids who probably aren't going to be supervised properly.
But Barron disagrees, saying any child cared for at this location is better than the other option.
By having youth in a safe shelter where they're receiving the care and support of responsible professional adults, we're lowering the risk of actually them being involved in any criminal activity on the streets or being the victims of criminal activity on the streets.
Still, Harkarick wishes it wasn't so close to his street or his backyard.
I'm sure there is another option. I wish I knew what the other options were.
Barrand hopes to see the new offices and youth shelter up and running in the next 9 to 12 months. The Salvation Army would not go into any great detail about future expansion of that nearby facility, only to tell me there are no formal proposals and any plans on the table are in very preliminary stages. That being said, though, a spokesperson suggested adding more shelter space at that Darbo Drive location is an option.
All right, thanks for keeping us posted. Thanks, Dannika.